Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design. It was done using Loren Sherman's fan-made script, which uses a combination of dots and lines on these 4 different stems to make our consonants. Vowels are a bit trickier. They're always smaller circles, and their location is different depending on what vowel they are, and if they're enclosed on one of these 4 stems. So let's look at an E, for example. So by itself, this is what an E would look like on the line of the word circle, except in my style, I usually erase the line underneath the vowels, whereas in consonants, I keep the line intact for the consonant stems, just to make it a bit more clear. Anyway, so here's an E by itself. Here's a BE, because this is a B stem. Here is a JE, because J stem. Here's a TE, because T stem, and THE, because TH stem. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at this design. You read the script bottom counterclockwise. So we have an outer sentence circle and an inner sentence circle, and this is where you'd put punctuation or have punctuation go to. So let's go ahead and find our first word. So here's our bottommost thing, but this is just a line because it's broken here. Nothing would ever be broken like this if it were a word circle. So this is just a line, curved line coming from this letter. So this is actually our word circle here. So it starts with a deep divot, so this stem, and it's got 3 dots next to it. 1, 2, 3 dots next to it, so that makes it a D, and it's got a vowel on it. And if it's ever a consonant vowel team, you always read the consonant first and then the vowel. So this is like a beat on a string on the line of the O, on the line of the D, making it an O. So here's that stem with the O on it. So D, O, continuing around. Here we have another circle inside our, this is our first time seeing a circle inside a word circle, so it's in this row, and it's a consonant because it's bigger than this O, and it's got 1 line coming from it. So it is an N, because it's this stem with 1 line. So it counts where the line ends on the line of the stem. So this line ends here and passes through here, so it only counts here. So that's an N. Continuing around, here we have these 2 lines, and let's go ahead and check them out. So they just go straight to the sentence circle. So this double line is actually punctuation. Let's go ahead and let's see this. So a double line is an apostrophe. So D-O-N apostrophe, and then here we have our T. So in this style, I overlap the T stems with other words. So this is like the T stem here, this little chunk taken out, and it directly overlaps with this next word. So that's a bit different from most styles of the script, but it's still pretty, it's not ambiguous. Like, you can tell that this can only be a T because it can't be anything else, because it's this shallow 50% or less completed divot, and it has nothing ending on it, so there's no dots or lines touching this anywhere. So D-O-N apostrophe T, don't, is our first word. Here's our next word. Here's the bottom of it, and here's our first stem. And it is another circle inside the circle, just like this one, so it's in this row. And let's take a look at it. So this line passes through, so it doesn't count. This one ends on it, so it does count. This one passes through, so it doesn't count. And this one ends on it, so it does count. So this one counts, and this one counts. So 2 lines count, so that makes it a P. So P, continuing on. Here we have a little circle, which is not punctuation because it would be on this line if it were punctuation, on this double line. So like this. So it has to be a letter. And it is an A because it's a small circle, and it's outside the word circle. And it's closest to this word, so it's part of this word. So P, A. Continuing around, here we have another N, so it's another larger circle with 1 line touching it, ending on it, and this one passes through, this one passes through, so it's just one, so it's just like this N, where there's 1 line ending on it, and then we have this thing, so this is just part of a line. It's not any of these recognizable stems, so we know it's not a stem, and then this is a smaller circle, so it's a vowel, and it's got 1 line coming off of it, so that is an I, because that line goes towards the middle. And if we follow that line, we see that the reason this is here is just so that this line doesn't end on this I again. Otherwise, it would be like a hybrid I or U, or it would look like some sort of weird consonant thing. I don't know. But this line can't end on this again because it needs to have just 1 line coming from it. So that's an I. And then we have this, again, another larger circle than our vowels inside our word circle. So that makes it this stem again. And again, this one, and this one are all the same stem. So you still have quite a lot of different sizes you can play with, even in your consonants of the same stem. And line thicknesses are also something you can play with. Anyway, let's look at this stem. So there's one big dot in the middle of it, and then another little dot closer to it than anything else. There's no dots on vowels, so this dot has to be part of this consonant. So that makes 2 dots, so that makes it a K. And you're wondering, why is there a K in panic? Well, that's because in this script, the C is only supposed to be used if it's in a proper noun or like an acronym or something where you should use a C because it's different than just an S or a K sound. So in the word panic, you would replace that C with a K because it's just the K sound of the C. But like if you were writing like uh, an acronym with a C in it, why can't I think of any acronyms with a C in it? I'm dumb right now. SCA, Society for Creative Anachronism, because I'm a nerd. But yeah, that would be an S and a C and an A. But because this is just panic, you replace it. Anyway, I went probably too far in detail of that. And these things are just decorative divots on the word circle. They're pretty standard practice actually to put divots on the word circle, not the word circle, the sentence circle. So anyway, that is that, and I hope you like your design. See ya. Bye.